Excerpt from Buddha Boy by Kathy Koja. In this excerpt, Justin invites his new friend, Jinsen, to visit his father's art studio over spring break. We were walking home on a day finally more spring than winter. Chirping birds and actual sun, snow lumps melted down to visible grass. Heading this time to my house because the banner was pretty much finished. Only minor touch-ups left to do. Nothing I could even pretend to help with. So today we were going to look through art books, Picasso and Klee and Monet, all the stuff I'd gotten from my dad, and he's working on a new piece now, I said. It's black and white and big as a car, he says. You know, I'm going to visit him for spring break. Do you want to come? Come with? To your dad's studio, you mean? Really? And he smiled, a big smile. We both did. But then, for a whole week, he said, his smile dwindled. My great aunt, I don't know. You mean she'll say no? That wavery smile. Oh, Michael. She didn't seem like the bossy type, but she can check it out with my dad first, or he could call her. No, I mean, I don't know if I can leave her on her own for that long. Maybe if someone came to check, made sure she was okay. I almost volunteered Audrey. Hey, Mom, could you do it? But then I thought I ought to ask her first. Still. Do you always have to worry about that stuff? I asked as we turned down my street, winding sidewalks beneath elms bare branched to show last year's bird's nests, squirrel's nests, winter worn, but still intact. The Dalmatian on the corner sniffed through his redwood gate, then barked as we passed, a sharp, fierce note. Strangers! It's not fair to you. Why can't she just... She's old, he said, which wasn't really an answer, but somehow it shut me up, because it was true. She was old and frail. We walked along in silence until, your street, he said, as we turned up the driveway. All the trees and everything? It's nice. He thought our house was nice, too. Nice and big, which compared to his, I guess it was. But I'd stopped seeing his house as small or shabby, especially his room, which made mine look like a dumping ground for a king consumer. Too much junk piled way too high. Stuff I never used or didn't need or even really want. It was strange, as if I were seeing through his eyes, like catching a glimpse of myself in a mirror. A mirror I didn't know was there. How about some herbal tea? Audrey asked. Audrey, who followed us into the kitchen. Audrey, who seemed to like ginseng instantly. Or oolong. I have oolong. Like shaved head and dragon shirt must equal tea drinker. No stereotypes there. We'll just have Cokes, I said, annoyed, until I saw Jinsen smile, smiling at Audrey, almost wistful, and his mom, I thought. She's gone. Tea's good too, I said. We spent a while going through the art books. He liked Picasso best, the blunt, bent faces, the force behind the brush. But Jinsen looked longest at my dad's painting, looked and touched, one finger gentle on the whorls and the flecks of paint. I don't use oils, he said, yet. Mostly I do acrylics. Does your dad ever sell his paintings? Not a lot. Sometimes. He says he sells just enough to buy the paint to do more. I picked up my cup. The tea was cold, and when my parents died, Jinsen said, looking down at the painting in his hands, there was a settlement and insurance money too, I guess. My great aunt had it put in some kind of trust, like for when I'm 21. But some of it, red and green, tracing the circle around, she gave to me, and that's what I spent it on. I thought of the tackle box, the paints, and the brushes. All of it? All of it. She told me it was mine and I should do whatever I thought was best, so I thought, what would Kim do with it? And then I knew. Kim always told me I ought to go to art school. Well, once you get that internship, who knows if I'll get it? If Keeley doesn't like the banner, how can he not like it? It's great. The lion looks alive. All of it is alive. In spring green and crimson and smoky gray, ideograms like water flowing beneath, students of Asia at CAC, and if he hasn't gone blind, I said, he'll see how great it is. Maybe, he said, and shrugged, but in that moment his face, his gaze, was so still that I could see all the way to the bottom, like looking into a deep, clear pond. And what I saw there was a longing so intense that it startled me. A want that was a need, like needing food or air. I did my best, he said, and looked away. I just wish I'd had that other scroll to show him, too. Don't worry, I said, because I knew. I was sure. The banner will be enough. And then, knock knock, from Audrey, opening the door a crack. Jinsen, would you like to stay for dinner? I'm making chicken stew. And, sure, he said, head turned to smile up at her. Suddenly he seemed younger, almost like a kid. Sure, thanks. Audrey outdid herself with the meal. Stew, fresh-baked rolls, corn on the cob, and Jinsen ate everything she put on the table, thanking her again and again. During dinner, she asked her usual million questions. What kind of music did he listen to? Did he play any sports? How did he like school? I had to roll my eyes at that one. But to Jinsen, I guess, it didn't seem intrusive. Maybe he liked having a mom give him the friendly third degree, even if it wasn't his mom. He ended up staying till almost 9 o'clock. I wondered what his great aunt would say, but it's Tuesday, he said to me as Audrey reached for her car keys. Tuesday night, she goes to bingo with our other neighbor. Thanks again, to Audrey, for driving me home. Oh, it's no trouble at all. Do you have your coat? Which made me cringe a little, but, well, Jinsen said, past the closing door, the thing with that is... I cleared up the dinner stuff and I loaded the dishwasher as a way to say thank you to Audrey. She didn't come back right away, and when she did, I was ready for some more, oh, that poor boy, no jacket stuff, but... What a sweet family, she said. Her voice was soft, almost sad, but in a good way. The way it is when something you see touches you, moves your heart inside. Jinsen is quite a remarkable young man, and his great aunt is just adorable. You met her? Only for a minute. You know, hanging up her coat. Your father mentioned that you were asking Jinsen along to his place for vacation. Do you think his great aunt might need a little help while he's gone? Just someone looking in, stopping by for a cup of tea or something? I would have suggested it myself, but I didn't want to seem pushy. I don't think it would be pushy at all, I said with a little smile. The tickle of karma again. I think it would be nice.